somebody who loves to give anything that is expected or standard or typical a twist. It's just so that it's slightly different, and in my opinion, slightly better. I'm going to show you a really easy way to transform any white button-down shirt into this. So if you like this, let me show you how to make it. You don't even need a sewing machine. Super easy, doesn't take a lot of time, and the result, I think it's totally worth it. What you're gonna need for this project is a lovely white shirt. I actually got mine from the men's department. It's a fitted men's shirt, but I just love the fit and I love the fabric. What you're gonna do is that you're gonna lay it down on a flat surface, and you're gonna make sure that those little plastic thingies on the corners that keep the corners of the collar nice and straight, that they're facing up. And now what you need to do is that you need to buy some trimming. You can buy it at Walmart or at any fabric store. Now, this trimming really reminds me of my many trips to Mexico. I fell in love with the colors, and that's why I chose it. All you have to do is find one that you love. One other important thing that I should say about the trimming is that it can't be wider than the collar. If it is, it will not work. And now what you have to do is that you are going to measure your trimming. You're going to make sure that you have about 1/2 inch or an inch on either end of the trimming so that it's longer than the actual collar, because we are going to be folding in the edges in order to create a nice clean edge. Now, once I've cut my trimming, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to fold the trimming in half to find the middle point of the trimming, and I'm going to draw a line on it so that it's clear to me where that point is. Once I've marked the center, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to place it back on top of the collar. Why? Because, well, a collar, as you can see, is not a perfectly straight line. It's actually curved. So we need to add a pleat, a little fold on our trimming in order to make it follow the curve. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm placing it, and I'm just kind of calculating how much of a pleat I'm going to have to create in order for it to have a fold, and that's how much I have to do. So it's not a lot. Then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to turn it over, and like that, and I'm going to take a needle and thread. I'm going to use a thread color that is the closest possible to the main color of my trimming, and I am going to just I'm going to create that pleat with the needle and thread. On a side note, I just absolutely love the way that I decorated this heart-shaped box that holds all of my colorful threads. So I'm going to open it up and try and find one that most closely fits my trimming. Now that I've threaded my needle, I find the line that I had drawn that marks the center of my trimming. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to take a Sharpie, and I'm going to draw just one little line that's going to make like a triangle. The triangle, the size of the triangle, is approximately how much I had to pinch to create the pleat. This doesn't have to be super precise, just approximately. So I drew my line, and now with the needle and thread, I'm going to create the pleat. I'm simply going to follow the little line that I drew to create a triangle with my needle and thread in order to create the pleat. While I do that, I just want to share with you why I think projects like this are so important to me. Why do I love to do this? Look, let me explain it to you this way. If I had ever been lucky enough to have been chosen for one of the music videos of Robert Palmer, 1980s, look it up, where all of the girls in his videos are dressed in the same way, and they all have their hair and makeup done exactly the same, it would have killed me to have been in that group. Why? Because I have always needed to just give everything my own little touch. So if I had been blessed with mile long legs and had been actually chosen to be in this music video, I would have had to put something on the outfit, done something to my makeup or my hair or something, added something to say, hey, this is me, I am not part of the group. Alright, so once we're done creating this little pleat right here, what we're going to do is that we're going to make sure that we've placed it in the middle of the collar. So how do we do that? Well, I'm going to simply just place it on top of the collar, and then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to fold the collar in half. So you're going to see that I flip the shirt, and then I place it approximately, and I fold the collar in half to see where my midway point is. I have my needle and thread ready, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to to attach it right here, okay? Just so that it stops moving. That's really important. And I'm going to make sure that on both sides I have some extra trim so that I can create a nice clean edge for my trim that's going to be placed on my collar. So I'm just double checking, and now I'm ready to attach. I'm going to use the needle. I'm going straight through the collar, and I'm just going to hold it in place by just, poking 2 holes into it. And now I'm ready to finish both ends of my trim. I want a nice straight edge. Now what I'm going to do is that I am just going to mark approximately where I have to fold the trimming on either side so that it's clear how much I have to take in. After I draw the line, what am I going to do? I'm going to compare it to see how it lines up with the end of my collar. And I want it to be nice and straight, so I'm just going to look at it, make sure everything is good. As you can see, in order to get it to fit perfectly, it's going to be folded at an angle. There's going to be a little bit of leftover, a little bit that is going to exceed my trimming. So as you can see, I'm attaching it, and you can see that it's not perfectly lined up with the trimming. And the reason for that is because remember, the collar is curved. What do we do with the excess? Well, we just tuck it in. Personally, I suggest that if you can tuck it in, that you do. Just because some of these trimmings, especially this one which is embroidered, if you cut it, sometimes you risk, some of the thread running. And so if you want to, just be cautious, you can just tuck it in as long as your trimming isn't very thick and it doesn't show. So right now I'm just finalizing the final little stitches on my trimming on the end of it, and as you can see, I've gotten a nice flat edge on both sides. It looks great. I'm really happy with that. And now what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to go and do the other edge. Once I've lined it up and everything looks good, I'm actually going to start to attach it to the collar. As you can see, I did not go all the way through the fabric. My knot is on the inside, not on the other side of the collar. And I'm just going to attach it to secure it so that I can go ahead and do the other side. To attach the edges, make sure that your needle doesn't go through the collar. You don't want to see stitches on the other side, so you're just going to stay on the surface. It's really easy to do. You just have to kind of take your time a little bit and get the hang of it. Once that's done and I'm finished attaching just the edges, what I'm going to do is really cool. I'm going to get sewing tape. It amazes me how there's so many people that don't know sewing tape exists. What is it? Well, it looks just like tape. You cut it with your hands or with a scissor, whatever you're comfortable doing, and you place it in between 2 fabrics. Here it's going to be in between the trimming and the collar. Once you're done placing all of the tape around the perimeter, you put the cloth over it, a thin cotton cloth, and you put a hot iron to it. It's going to take about 30 seconds. Sometimes if it takes a little bit longer, that's okay. Just put it back on a couple more seconds and it should bond. Once you're finished bonding the trimming to the collar all around the perimeter, you're ready to move on to the next step. This is so exciting! The first side is completely done, and now all you have to do is repeat the same process to the inside of your collar. Why do we want to do this? Because nobody else does this, and this is a great way of actually enjoying the trim that you've added to your beautiful white shirt from any angle. So whether you're from the side or from the front, people will be able to see it, and I think that this is fabulous. And also what's great about this is that what are you doing by putting it on the inside? What are you preventing? Ring around the collar. Those are the most prevalent stains that you get on a white shirt, and now you no longer have to worry about that. And here's the final result, and yes, you do have to purse your lips at least once while you wear this shirt. I hope that all of you enjoyed this. I hope that it's going to help you to maybe save one of your beautiful white shirts that is still in great condition, but the collar has too many stains on it or something. I hope it brings new life to your closet, to your wardrobe. Till next time, and don't forget, if you haven't done it yet, please remember to subscribe. Bye! If you'd like a shirt just like mine, just send me a message.